Okay, great. So, yep, welcome to this live stream, which is it's a Q&A about how to free yourself from fear of failure and self-doubt. And this came about from a questionnaire that I sent out and got a lot of answers from, both from people on my mailing list and from social media as well. Lots of really amazing questions that people asked, and so I thought I would come on board and share some of those questions and some of the answers that I was given as well. So as this is a live stream, please do heart react, share it with people that might benefit from this information, and let's get this out to as many people as possible so we can all learn from this, and hopefully the information in this is going to be valuable to people. So just 1 second, just pop that in there. Okay, so I guess I will just go ahead. I just want to say that you can, in fact I'll put this in the comments as people will be joining, and I will look in the comments for people's questions, and I will come to those at the end once I've gone through the big list of questions that I've already got. Okay, so just 1 moment, just get the questions up, big list of questions. Now, lots of these questions were, lots of people had similar questions, and so I've picked the most interesting questions and questions that seem to be like an amalgamation of multiple people's questions. So okay, so let's just start with the first question. I don't know who these were from, they're all anonymous, but the question is, why does it feel so important to succeed? What's the root of the fear of failure? And so for this, I would look at what success means to you. Is it really like your, hang on, something's just come up here. Okay. Okay, I'll start again. Okay, so why does it feel so important to succeed? What's the root of the fear of failure? And for this, I would look at what success means to you. Is it really your version of success, or is it a conditioned form of success based on society's expectations or other expectations? The only success that's really important is living true to yourself. So I would suggest that it would be a good idea to find out what success really means to you, and you could do that by understanding your values, looking at what it would be like to live in alignment with those values, and then base your success around that. Otherwise, you could find that you are chasing a form of success for a long time which doesn't really work for you. And the saying is that you could climb high up the ladder only to find out that it has been leaning against the wrong tree after all. So so understanding your values, looking at what success, your personal version is, and then and then from there then you can judge your success rather than having it judged based against the sort of collective goals which may or may not be important to you. So regarding the question of the root of the fear of failure, Well, that is different for everybody that experiences. But what it will have is a seed very early on in your life, and it can involve beliefs such as I'm not good enough, which is that universal limiting belief that just about everyone has in some form or another. I always let people down, another belief, one that I held very strongly in the past. Could involve specific events such as being laughed at for getting things wrong, being stupid, etc. So yeah, specific root cause events, often around times when failing was painful. So things I've seen people, pushy parents, which is quite understandable, of course, that happens. Lots of events at school. These are the sorts of common examples. Yeah, maybe not being picked, being last one to be picked at games in the sports team. All things that seem quite small as an adult when you think about them, but looking back, they were very painful for the child at the time. But it's going to be unique for each of us. So you have to find those root causes, and EFT and other techniques that enable you to find these past events and neutralize them and then create new beliefs are really great for shifting those sorts of patterns. Okay, so the next question that I've got, and yeah, please, if you're watching, please feel free to add any questions in the comments, and I will aim to get to all of them by the end of the live stream. And yeah, I might answer some of the live ones in between the ones I've already got, as if you are here and you put your question in, then I will try and come to your question as and when it comes up. Okay, so next question. This is a very specific question. Again, I don't know who it's from. It says, how can I separate from my parental programming while caring for them in close proximity in their old age? As they reiterate, they have no positive expectations for me to succeed or follow my dreams. And how do I separate from supporting a grown-up child who sees me as a failure, so keeps punishing me by not respecting me? So yeah, feeling unsupported, being held back. So how can I create myself anew while being so involved with family without running away and abandoning them? Okay, so yeah, firstly I want to acknowledge that it's challenging to move beyond patterns when you're living in the re-triggering environment, but it can be done with that understanding that you are still going to be living in the triggers that are sort of recreating the pattern over and over again. So steps that you could take is really powerful. One really important is to find simple ways to balance your emotional state, and what you want to do is create a sense of inner safety and leading to compassion for yourself that doesn't rely on approval from others. So become your own sort of source of approval. One example of this is the quick coherence technique from Heart Math, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute. And I also teach a range of other simple emotional balancing and getting into your body type techniques on my Fearless Pursuits course, which is all about resolving fear of failure and self-doubt and its effects in your life. So yeah, so once you've balanced your emotional state, or once you've got that as something that you can just use in as and when required, explore, accept. Another thing, yeah, next sort of step, exploring, accepting and releasing as much as you can relating to the expectations and the information that you perceive is coming from your family members or the people that are close to you, that where you're feeling judged by them. So explore how that's affecting you using, I would say, tapping techniques. I find them very effective for this, and finding the beliefs and the emotional blocks behind them. So using techniques such as EFT, matrix reimprinting to explore the root cause are really key to this. And what people often find is that strange things can actually happen here. So the first one is that you'll be less affected emotionally by what's going on around you. So that's great, because you become more centered, more able to take your own path. Secondly, as your energy and responses change, it has an effect on the others around you as well. But it's like when your response to what's going on from other people changes, then their energy changes too. And there's been loads of times when people that I've been working with have told me how their family members' behaviours, or their close friends' behaviours, or people that are important to them's behaviours and attitudes have changed, and have sort of changed as they've changed. So they're not feeling so put down or oppressed or whatever they're feeling, as their own emotional perspective and beliefs have changed, basically. So yeah, so those are ways that you can perhaps deal with the environment around, the triggering environment, specifically around people around you. And the next point that this whoever asked this question was around creating themselves anew. So people are often looking for this big wow moment, but it's often better for most of us to see it as a gradual thing, where you are aiming for tiny incremental improvements. So 1% changes that compound over time until it suddenly seems like a snowball that becomes unstoppable. So to get to that, it's really great to have a vision for what you want your life to be like, and be clear on your aims, objectives, goals, whatever, based on them again being there for you. So you can so you can start making these small incremental steps in alignment with whatever's possible for you, really. Patience is really key to that. And so I think that, it's a great thing to explore, with the understanding that it's a slow process. Okay, so what I'm just going to do in a moment, I'm just going to demo this quick coherence technique from HeartMath, which is a great way of really getting you into your body, and also it's using the electromagnetic signature of your heart to get it into coherence with your brain waves, which just can keep you far more calm. And actually, because your heart is very powerful, creates a very strong field around you, it can influence not just yourself, but it also can influence what's going on around you as well. It's great to see people turning up here. Please, love you to heart react, and and if you want to share this with anyone that you feel it might be useful for, then please do that. But just anything that supports the video and gets it out to more and more people would be amazing. Okay, so how do you do this quick coherence technique? So what you do, it's very simple. You put your hand over your heart, and you're going to be breathing slowly in and slowly out for a count of 8 in and 8 out. Now that might seem like too much, and so if that is the case, just breathe. You can do 6 in and 6 out. That's fine as well. You're trying to keep a consistent flow, and as you do that, you're in your mind's eye, you're seeing and feeling that your breath is going into your heart space, and then going out from your heart space out into the world. So breathing into the heart and out from the heart. And so let's just do that for a moment, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Okay, so breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just keep that rhythm going, or whatever rhythm you're on. 6, 7, 8. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And bringing all of your attention to your heart as you're doing that, and really breathing into your heart and out of your heart. And you can also then bring something with the in-breath into your heart that feels however you want to feel. So whether it's peaceful, happy, courageous, whatever it is that you want to feel, then you can just bring in a picture or a feeling that feels that way, and bringing that in and then breathing it out into the world. A lot of people go for something peaceful, like a calm water on a lake, imagining that, or the face of someone they love, or yeah, just whatever it is that helps you to feel that state, that you're breathing it in and out. And yeah, you might find that it helps you to feel more in your body, more in the present moment, less mental chatter going on, and gives you an opportunity to make a different decision, or not react in the same way as you might have done before. Okay, so just a very simple technique that's very easy and safe to use to start creating this sense of internal safety, which is really important when you're trying to resolve a fear, such as fear of failure, so that you are, actually feel, we'll come on to this a bit more with another question, but feeling safer internally, so you're not looking externally for your safety, so you can start taking some well-measured risks, making different choices, etc. Okay, so back to the questions, and of course, please feel free to put any questions in the comments, and I'll come to them as quickly as I can. Okay, so next question. Why am I so self-centered? So, interesting question. And it doesn't say whether you see being self-centered as a good thing or a bad thing. And what I mean by this is that it's natural to be at the center of your life. But we've been conditioned, many of us, to feel guilt and shame around that, and that we should always be putting other people first, not looking after our own needs, thinking of others, seen as very virtuous. But this sooner or later is going to lead to, if you keep going that way without fulfilling your own needs, then that can lead to resentment, burnout, many different things could happen from that. Could have self-evaluation conflicts in there, leading to ultimately to musculoskeletal issues, as your body attempts to heal from and resolve those self-evaluation conflicts. So when you aren't looking after yourself, then you're not giving your best. So it is really important to be balanced with this and look after yourself, and as an important person in your life, of course. But there is a flip side to it. If you're, if by self-centered you mean that you're hurting others with your actions or just using them to get what you want, then if that is the case, those sorts of things, then it is important to look at it. And then the answer is, of course, it's going to be found in your past. And there could be so many causes to this. So maybe as a child, consistently not having your needs met, being ignored, these kinds of things. It could be, of course, everyone's got their own individual story. Everyone's affected by events differently. But there could be lots of ways where, maybe you had to be selfish to survive when you were little in certain situations. So whatever it is, you can use methods like the movie technique from EFT, or you can use matrix reimprinting, which is a great way of actually supporting, with the main sort of matrix reimprinting, going back in time technique to help your inner child, your younger self, which is called an echo in matrix reimprinting. Going back, exploring and resolving the limiting beliefs and emotional charges from the memories that have led to that pattern in your life. Whoever this question came from, even the fact that they're saying this, that they see themselves as self-centered, that shows me there's some consciousness and that they are looking to do something about it. So perhaps it's more of a, this is only a guess, of course, an assumption, which isn't a great thing to do, but probably just the notion that they're considering that they might be self-centered and want to do something about it, is a positive that they, are looking to change in some way. Okay, and another question. Why, if no result is guaranteed anyway, would we be afraid of failing? So, of course, if nothing's guaranteed, and that's a really important thing to see, and it's a great reason why we shouldn't be afraid of failing. Shouldn't is a funny word, of course, but lots of people are afraid of failing because of their individual experiences, the beliefs that they formed from them, and many of us were conditioned, taught, learned to see failure as a bad thing, and people often equate their actions with themselves. So failing at a task with being a failure. So not I failed becomes, or that didn't work out becomes I'm a failure, which is very painful and elicits all sort of feelings of shame and stuff like that. Yes, and there was in our education system there's a great importance placed on things like exams. And so there's this one moment where you can have a big failure, which you believe at that time is going to have serious repercussions in your life. There could be these painful, like humiliating experiences of getting things wrong. There's just an endless potential list of reasons why an individual might be afraid of failing, even though there's no guarantees of results in any case. So again, the route to healing this kind of thing is through recognizing the pattern, resolving the root cause events, and clearing the triggers. Then really important, building new habits, new ways of being that are counter to it, because you can get a certain way with things like the tapping. You can have amazing breakthroughs, but it's what you do next that counts. And so creating behaviors and using them to transform your life. New habits which are counter to how you felt before. Really great to do. Okay, yeah, so just great to see people are continuing to arrive. Please feel free to ask any questions that you've got about fear of failure or self-doubt in the comments. I'd love to answer them, and I will look for those comments when they arrive. I think I'm seeing them all, and and in that case, I'll answer them as they come through. Just give one moment. Let's have a look. Yeah, none who seem to have arrived on there either. Okay, so next question. Why, if others see us as more capable and confident, do we struggle to give ourselves a chance to succeed? So, of course, we know that if they are seeing us as capable and confident, they must be a terrible judge of character. So we just can't trust these people at all. Well, no. But of course, what's really happening is that we generally give ourselves a much harder time than anyone else does. So our inner talk is generally much harsher than we would speak to other people. So it's that saying of being your own worst critic, basically. And as with all of this, the story is going to be unique to each individual. But with this question, it's about struggle. So what I'd do in this case is connect to the feelings of struggle around giving yourself a chance, and use that as a bridge to find the past events that have led to that pattern. And for this, you could use, again, EFT, tapping techniques, bit of a broken record really, but they are very valuable for us to exploring all these beliefs, all these past events. And again, another really important part is look at whether you've got a clear picture or sense of what success means to you, which requires some soul searching, understanding your values, and creating that vision that's going to really get you aligned with what success is. Just as the question was about what if others see us as more capable than we do. Maybe they're seeing you as capable and confident to fulfill things that you don't even want to fulfill. So you may never, those things might just feel heavy and out of alignment with who you are. You get no internal spark towards those things. But if you had a vision and it's inspiring and exciting to you, then that might really help you to thrive and be able to actually really give yourself a chance, because these things are meaningful to you. Okay, so next question, interesting one. How to access the past life that creates the unreasonable fear of physical harm. Now, so there could be it could be a past life that's creating the fear, and maybe whoever asked this question had already connected to that and knows that it's there. But it could also be other things that can lead to these what seem like unreasonable fears. Could be it could of course be events in your current life, your current incarnation, which could be recent, or they could be early in your life, before, during, or after being born. So stuff that could happen in the womb or at birth can also lead to this. Could be an ancestral pattern, and all of these can be or whatever it is, whether it's past life, ancestral pattern, something in your current incarnation, whether very, very early, pre-conscious, or more recent, there's a beautiful technique called chasing the energy, which is you're fully conscious while you do it, but it takes you back to root cause events, and people are often amazed where it gets to. Now, I considered demoing this technique on this call, but it's really powerful, and it can bring up some really strong past memories. And of course, I haven't got any idea of who's actually on this call, so it's safer for me to tell you how this technique works, and in case someone who's new to tapping or whatever does this and then finds themselves in a big old ancient memory which is hard to deal with and brings up all sorts of re-triggering, etc. So what I'll do is I'll tell you about it, and if you're confident in EFT and tapping techniques, then you can give it a go yourself. I use it a lot. It's a really quick way to get to the root. It's one of the great ways to get to the root cause of patterns, beliefs, emotional blocks. I'll definitely be using it in the group tapping sessions on my upcoming Fearless Pursuits course. And yeah, it's really, really powerful. But what you do is, so you connect to the current problem in your life, whatever it is, and you notice how that makes you feel in your body. Let's say you keep having unsuccessful relationships or whatever, and that feels really bad in your heart, and might feel like a sort of blue, sad ball of energy in your heart or something like that. What you can then do is you can connect to that energy, and if it's really intense, like over 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 intensity, then you would use tapping to actually release some of that. And then you would, once you get it down to a level where you are okay in the now, then you can actually leapfrog on that energy back through your life, what's known as the echo stream in matrix reimprinting, and it will take you back and find recent events where you felt that way, earlier events. And the way it works is when you focus on that energy, and when you felt it early on, you actually find, even it leads you to ancestral patterns, past lives, etc. And as I said, the beauty of it is, unlike most regression techniques where you have to be in a trance to get there, so which are great, nothing wrong with those, but this one you're fully conscious and you're still going into these very deep states and able to actually work on and explore that past life, ancestral pattern, whatever, with whatever techniques feel right to you. I use matrix reimprinting mostly for those kinds of processes. Lots of ways that you can do that, and but even if there is a past life or ancestral pattern, also it's really important to look at the experiences in your life now where it's happened and break those patterns, dissolve those patterns as well, if it's going to give you the way to move forward. Okay, next question. How to release the abilities to receive all the abundance this life can offer me. So for this, you can use both your past and your future to support you in the present moment. So using the past to explore, find the limiting beliefs around lack and shifting them, transforming the understandings around them. And then you can also use your vision, so create the values-based vision, or however you vision your future, and you can use that to see what's holding you back, and then that's either going to be like inner work stuff, so emotional elements, practical skills, emotional things, limiting beliefs, or it'll be practical skills and knowledge that you require. So you can break it down into the things that are emotional, possibly irrational, limiting, which require inner work and resolution, and then it could actually be some knowledge, such as you don't know how to build a website or whatever, or you haven't got the right ladder to climb up the tree to pick the fruit, or whatever it is that you need. So yeah, so using the past and future to to sort of work together and bringing all that into the now is really great. If you're feeling lack, then lack will show up. Like, life responds to your frequency, and this doesn't mean to avoid the so-called negative thoughts. It's really important to look at the shadow side, the darkness, the fear, the self-doubt, etc. You need to go there because these really control you if you don't go to them. So if you just focus on the light, on the fluffy stuff, then you find that the shadow stuff is controlling you unconsciously. So it's really great to find, explore, accept and transform those beliefs, so you can then you can watch how your life changes with that. Okay, so just as more people arrive, just want to say feel free to ask any questions, put them in the comments. Questions that come in the comments I will answer as quickly as I can, so that I can get to answer them while you're still here, if you put them in. So otherwise I'll just keep cracking on through the questions that I was asked in the survey. So so the next one was someone just wrote future and stability, and so I guess that means worry about the future and their stability. And then I would question back to that, would you rather face future uncertainty with a sense of inner safety and feeling competent, efficacy in life, no matter what it throws at you, with having the abilities to release your fearful reactions and be able to take a sort of measured response rather than reacting? Or would you want to be passive and reactive to what happens? Because of course there's no external stability in the future. If the events of the last few years have really shown us that things can really change very quickly, and it's really important to be able to see yourself as competent, able to shift, able to change, adapt yourself to change, maybe even seeing new exciting opportunities in events that come up. These challenging times are actually times when people really do get the opportunity to thrive through being creative, coming up with solutions, living in different ways. And so if you're worried about the future and stability, then that couldn't be a better sign really than to learn how to process your emotions, connect yourself to the now, release reactivity and be able to respond and start moving towards creating a future which is really in alignment with you. And clearing your fear of failure, or freeing yourself of fear of failure, exploring and understanding your self-doubts is an amazing way to do that. So really it's almost future-proofing yourself to learn all these techniques And if that is the case, then I certainly recommend you join my Fearless Pursuits program. If you want information on that, just put yes in the comments. But if you don't do that, then find some way to work on yourself and enable yourself to take different actions, be able to change, and all that good stuff. Okay, so yeah, next question. Having tried a few methods, will it work? And is it a method that sticks, or will I have to keep practicing because this indicates as a role play instead? So yeah, interesting. And it's, perhaps it's from this desire to be fixed, the fix me school of self-development, which is, it's totally understandable because those expectations are raised by, many people to get an external fix. And, I've expected it myself as well. And maybe even suggested that there's these quick fixes available in the past, the reason we do that sometimes is because it does happen. Sometimes people have these amazing breakthroughs and problems completely gone. And while that does happen, there's many other beneficial types of outcomes through doing inner work. And I think this is it's even a misconception with emotional freedom techniques, EFT. When you free yourself from something, it doesn't necessarily mean that thing is just gone. It can be. Some people have that experience, but it certainly doesn't necessarily mean that. For example, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, doesn't get rid of your emotions. No one would want that. That would be awful. But it does enable you to be free with your emotions. So, yeah, I just think of myself. I still experience fear, of course. I have self-doubt because I'm conscious, and when I face challenges, I experience doubt. But I recognize them for what they are, and so when I see them, then I can carry out processes to resolve the impact that they're having on me at that time. And the shifts that I've had mean that these are no longer, they're not really blocks to me creating what I want in my life. Of course, there's other blocks to that. It's not like everything flows perfectly all the time, but what I do have is definitely able to evolve, adapt, and make decisions through. And when I do those sorts of things, I release the fears and the self-doubts that I have before that happens. So yes, I recognize what they are, and then I can take my next steps. That can even be waiting to see what happens, if that's the right thing for me to do. So everyone has different kinds of shifts. Some people have big wow aha moments, others it's much more subtle, but it's when you look back at your life that you see what's actually happened. But you're not powerless, you're not trapped. If you, as you level up your life and you face new challenges, the fears and self-doubt come back in again, but you recognize it, and so you're able to move through it and take perhaps better decisions, or braver decisions, which may or may not work. And then you've got the failure, but then using that as it's education, it's learning, and inspiring you to do something differently, perhaps. So yeah, I hope that answers that. Okay, so how can I realize that I have this fear running in the background and get myself out? So interesting to ask that question, because even asking that, means you're probably aware that fear of failure is there. So one simple way that you can check, think of a big goal, think of a desire for something that you really want to happen in your life, something in your work, relationships perhaps, a dream of traveling or something that you want to happen. So yeah, and then just you get that in your mind's eye. Yeah, just imagine it, whatever it is, and then you can think about actually making it happen. So maybe let's just take a few moments just to do that. So yeah, just connect to something that you want to happen in your life. It doesn't have to be massive, but if it's a big thing, it's going to get some bigger results. So something significant, and then imagine that you're already there. Imagine how it would feel to have that thing, and then bang, ask yourself, what's going to go wrong? What's going to stop me getting there? And then, and then that is going to give you an idea of what your fears, your limiting beliefs, emotional blocks are that could stop you from, making it through and being able to do that. And getting those things is great because that gives you something to work on. Basically, it gives you an understanding of what your fear is. So there you go. So I imagine that if you did that just then, you found there was a fear, a self-doubt that came up. So it is there. If you didn't have it, then maybe you'd already have achieved the thing. Or you might just be on your way there and completely awesome, and it's just, it's just a matter of time, of course. But if you have found some form of self-doubt, some limitation, then you can track that energy back through your life. Talked a little while ago about this technique, chasing the energy, which takes you back through your life to find the root cause on a timeline. And then you can start releasing it from past events, shifting that pattern in your life. And another important part is day to day. You don't have to resolve everything to get on with your life. You can also use these techniques as, you could call it firefighting or first aid. So you can quickly shift feelings of doubt, anxiety, overwhelm, etc., which enable you to just get on with your life. And it doesn't necessarily mean you've resolved the root cause at that stage, but it can give you a nice window of opportunity to take some action and get something done towards whatever the outcome is that you want, whether it's in your work, relationships, stuff with your family, experiences, whatever. You can take some steps towards it. EFT is a brilliant way, and there's lots more amazing ways you can do that too. And I'm going to be teaching quite a few of them in the Fearless Pursuits course, and be teaching these processes that quickly enable you to soothe your nervous system. We did one of them earlier, but there's a number more as well that I teach over the 6 weeks. And all of them, what I really like about them is they create this deep inner sense of safety. So you're not so reliant on the outer world for your safety. You can feel safe in perhaps more uncomfortable situations, taking what you might call calculated risks. And this is a really great part of being free, when you experience fear of failure or self-doubt, or any fears really, because you're not you're just not reliant on everything being just so in your outer world, which of course doesn't happen. So the more you can feel this sort of inner safety and comfort, then that's very powerful for being able to move forwards or evolve whatever it is in your life. Okay, so someone another question. Self-doubt. Too many questions about myself, trying to find what's wrong with me, not being able to connect with other people. Okay, so now, this idea that something's wrong with you, it might seem that way, but there's not really anything wrong with you. And I don't mean that as like a new age spiritual bypassing platitude, but whatever's happening with you, whatever your patterns are, whatever's stopping you being able to, for example, connect with other people, there's good reasons for that. Your subconscious mind is causing you to live that way. It's trying to keep you safe, and so it's causing those behavior patterns, and you can look at those specific behaviors and you can find their origins and ongoing triggers in your life. It's a massive part of what the Fearless Pursuits course is about. But specific behavior patterns. There's for example, if you experience anxiety a lot, then you experienced powerlessness and fear of something coming your way, which often manifests as a fear of the future. So feeling powerless over something happening in the future, and it can be related to specific things such as socializing. So you have social anxiety and how you're going to be treated, these kinds of things. So through understanding it and then what those behaviors mean, then you can gently transform them through all of the techniques we've been talking about already. Okay. How do I unpick whether I'm in denial about fear of failure, e.g., which aims am I deprioritizing as my interests have changed, versus whether I'm telling myself that as the fear of failure is too great? Telling myself that as the fear of failure is too great. Okay, so again, this comes back to values again. So this is where it's important to really get clear on what you're aligned with, what really lights you up inside, and then whatever your aims are, whatever you think your aims are, you can test them against your values and see if they excite you, light you up inside, fulfill your values, or if they're more like chores of some kind, not really in alignment with who you are. And if they don't align with your values, they're not your goals anyway. And then there's still things that you have to do, because we have things we have to do in life that aren't just about us reaching our highest potential, of course. But you'll know that it's that. They're admin, you could call them. Apologies to all the admin lovers out there. I'm sure there's thousands of you. But if they do feel great, but they still bring up this fear, then you know that it's fear of failure standing in the way. Okay, so right. Next question. How do I overcome self-doubt when my logic tells me I'm not physically capable of being accountable to the level needed to succeed? For example, I'd love to teach forest school, but I fear I'd be too sick at times to be reliable. Okay, so it's interesting, because if it's about being sick, having ongoing symptoms, then that's probably is a priority to understand what those symptoms mean, and you can explore, and you can resolve this. Might be a might be the real priority for you before moving on with life goals. It's something that I work with a lot. I've been working for quite a few years now with supporting people with health conditions through using meta consciousness, and so that helps people to really know what the root cause of symptoms is and activating their self-healing potential. So if illness is illness symptoms are blocking you from living a fulfilling life, then just get in touch with me, drop me a message, and we can just have a free chat about the symptoms and see whether that is whether they are something that can be resolved. But a big part of healing your symptoms, activating your body's healing mechanisms, which is always happening, by the way, but you can get stuck in there, is your vision of your future. Having things to look forward to builds your vitality and gives you the ability to ride the waves of healing symptoms effectively, which can be quite strong. So holding that vision of teaching forest school as something that you would desire and look forward to, that could be really inspiring towards your healing, and using that future to help you heal. It's one of the ways you can use the future to help you healing in the now. Just in terms of healing, I'll give a full story of this like next week or something, once I'm really sure it's happened. But I feel like, I think I've actually managed to heal a cavity and a tooth infection myself, which I'm absolutely thrilled with, because dental pain is a has been a big thing for me. But more of that story to come in the future. Okay, so what are the practical strategies to do every day to have a successful business? How do you overcome overthinking when your mind is getting you back into the old story? Okay, so 2 questions there. So business wise, I mean, well, it's specific to each business. Some my businesses have very different needs, but I guess in general, making sure that you're putting enough time and energy into client getting activities, that's going to be important for most businesses, and whatever those are for you, so whether that's networking or meeting people face to face or advertising or social media, whatever it is, that's going to be important. And then working on your own blocks to success, such as your fear of failure, and taking actions that feel good and support your vision for your business will be key. Now, I can't really talk much more about that because it's going to be so individual for each person, really. Okay. The second part of that question was regarding the overthinking. Well, this is a great time to use a process that connects you into your body, gets you out of your head, connects you to your heart. So like the quick coherence technique we did a quick practice on earlier on in this call. So if you're just joining now, you can always rewind to that and check out the quick coherence technique. So getting into your body is a great way of getting you out of the old story. But I'll be teaching others on the Fearless Pursuits course. And just recognizing it. If you find yourself overthinking, getting into your body. Another great one is, once you've done a process to get into your body, then just do a brain dump, write for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever. Just get everything out of your head so you can start. So everything's on paper and you can start afresh. So that's an example. Okay, so fear of failure and self-doubt are keeping me safe from something. So how does this program move me beyond it so I still feel safe. So yeah, we've talked about this quite a lot already in this call. A big part of this program, it's about cultivating that inner safety so that you can feel safe while stepping outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, kind of alluded to this already, but relying on factors outside of you to keep you safe is it's not going to work because you can't really, you're not in charge of that. And so that shrinks your world. So finding ways to keep safe in yourself and feel safe when taking risks, when experiencing situations that might be adverse at the time, is really key to having a thriving and happy life. And then, as well as having those processes to do that in the now, also using EFT and tapping techniques, matrix reimprinting to find the root cause of what's keeping you, keeping you feeling unsafe, and shift your relationship with it. It's important. Okay, so how do I get past the fear of failure and self-doubt? In this case, this is relating to the course. They've asked a specific question. How do I get past the fear of failure and self-doubt that this might not work and I've proved myself right once more? So, yeah, I mean, I'd expect that because it's a course on fear of failure. So people are going to come with that. But at some point, it's an inner thing. You have to make a decision to change, or else nothing's going to change. And so you might be 10 years down the line still wondering when you're going to get your break. And yeah, this is that sort of waiting for something to happen. When's it going to be right? When will I know enough? When will I have enough? When will I be enough? Being ready. But it's great to do things when you're not ready, not ridiculously unready, like, you know, put your pants on beforehand or whatever. But yeah, you know, see it all the time. People are waiting. When I've got this, if I think about the sort of holistic practitioner world, when I've got this next modality, I'll be able to do it. When I've got this skill, I'll be able to do it. And some of that might be true, but you've got to start. And the people that make the change are the ones that take the leap and step forwards out of their comfort zone, giving themselves the gift of doing something different. And that seems to be when the universe sort of rises up and meets you halfway. And yeah, when the magic actually happens, and yeah, what's happening is that your brain starts noticing the reticular activating system starts noticing opportunities when there was threats before, things like that, and you make different decisions. It seems like magic, and it is magic, but it's got a physical, real reason for it happening as well, because your conscious mind is noticing different things happening in exactly the same situation, where before it saw scary things, then it sees exciting opportunities instead. Okay, so yeah, just want to say, please do feel free to put any questions in the comments. I will answer any questions that are live in the comments as and when they come up, if I can, so that you can hear the answers, or my attempts at answers, while you're here. And also just want to say that, yeah, the Fearless Pursuits course is open, and if you're interested in knowing more about it, just comment yes in the comments, whether you're watching live or later, and as soon as I see it, I will get the link over to you. Okay, so yeah, back to the questions. Okay, so why do I not want to be in the spotlight? Why am I scared of great success? So yeah, this is really common. fear of failure is often fear of success, and yeah, it just comes down to that thing of sticking your head above the parapet, not staying in your place. Reasons why you see success as dirty or bad in some way, like maybe seeing successful people as ruthless or greedy, not wanting to be like them. Previous examples, previous evidence from your life, times where you were in the spotlight. I've I've got a few from my past of like just freezing on the stage at a school play when I was little, freezing when I was doing a talk at school, which was actually key to me changing and going from being terrified of public speaking to being able to speak in front of big audiences, no problem. And but what I did was I actually did matrix imprinting and went back and I helped my younger self to change what he was talking about to a talk on time travel, introduced me, his adult self, to the class, did this really cool talk, and then integrated that into my cells and my energy, and that had the effect of transforming that's a super quick version of course, but it had the effect of basically transforming all my beliefs around public speaking. And that was an example of a instant result where I went from being really nervous about it, not able to do it at all, to totally confident to stand up in front of a big crowd, which I've done on several occasions, and be able to deliver well, hopefully a good presentation, but still it was good enough, and people seem to like it. So anyway, lost that there, but there we are. Okay, so that fear of being in the spotlight is really common, because a lot of us have got examples of that, and fear of success, and that might be that you're going to have to be really busy, might be that you are just have how it's going to change your life, whether your friends will still be your friends, all these sorts of things that come up for people. So there's loads of possibilities there. Okay, right, so next question. There's a few of these. There's quite a lot of questions about, and a lot of it's already been answered now in this call, but these questions were more related to the course that I'm releasing, the Fearless Pursuits course, and it was around fear of failure. How can I make it happen? How long will it take? How is it possible? How do I stop the fear of failure? And I've answered those all at various times in this call over the last hour or so. But yes, as it comes, well, the way I do it, or the way I'm offering it in the Fearless Pursuits course, is 6 steps, six journeys over 6 weeks, and they basically are in a very short form. The first one is about starting to explore, accept, and own your fears around fear of failure and self-doubts, and then start to release them, start working how to really understand them and release them. Stage 2, going deeper into that and actually going into the inner child, or maybe even an ancestral pattern, past life, in the womb possibly. So really getting to the root cause, with a really deep journey in the subconscious mind, but still fully conscious, and exploring different levels of beliefs which have stacked up on each other. Really beautiful. I'm doing a really beautiful guided process, which enables you to give your younger self a lot of inner peace and understanding, and then bring that back into your life, whatever, based on whatever they need. Then after that, part 3, getting real clarity on who you are and what you want in your life, creating this values-based vision for your life so you can really test what you want against it and feel really inspired by it rather than just going through the motions. Then following that, part 4, working out what actions you could take to get you towards your vision, using them to highlight the deeper blocks, because the beautiful thing about starting to take action is it brings up a whole load more limiting beliefs and emotional blocks, which gives you more to go deeper on and heal. And the one, the one outcome that I'm going for with this course, because I see it's so important for people, is that they experience the release from the impact of fear of failure and self-doubt in their life. And that's possible in different ways for different people. So like I said earlier on, it can go completely, which is amazing when that happens, but it can also be more like my story. You see it for what it is and you're able to free yourself from its effect on your life. So it's not that you never have it, because they're natural, normal emotions and thought patterns to have for many of us. And it is right to question things and have some doubt, but then you see it for what it is, and then you find ways to move through it. Okay, a bit of a diversion there. So the 5th stage is becoming comfortable with failure, seeing it as a teacher in your life and giving you feedback while still knowing when the right time is to quit and stop flogging a dead horse, basically, because not continuing to a time when it would be insane to continue, basically. Doing the same old thing and expecting different results. Einstein or someone said that, I imagine. Okay, so, and then the 6th part is finding ways to stay consistent, being able to evolve in your life in a way that works for you without forcing yourself, so in your flow and having techniques and abilities to just keep on keeping on. So that's, as I said, it's really about there's the value stuff, the goals, everything. That's all beautiful, and I hope people achieve amazing things from it. But what I really want and what I really see as important here is that people, that resolving or having that ability, that different ability with the fear of failure and the self-doubts, that's just going to keep being good forever in your life. Once you've got that, it's never going to go away, and you won't be one of those people who lets opportunities that are in alignment with you go by anymore. You'll find that you start taking some of those opportunities, maybe not all, but over time it could change sort of every area of your life. It's hard to quantify how much, but it's, that could go on for however, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, however long you live, no longer having that fear of failure and that self-doubt, or no longer being controlled by them and limited by them, is going to be very, very powerful for you. Okay, so someone asked, how does it start? Is it affordable? And it is available now, of course. It is low cost for what it is, because it's a beta program. There's also a 3-month payment plan. There's limited places on it. There's a maximum of 20 people, and there was a wait list, so some of the places have already gone. So not that much space, and I'd want to do it that way because I want to make sure that this first time it's run in a live format and I'm able to give everyone the attention that they need through it. And another beautiful way of doing it this way is that every week I'll be sending out a questionnaire to the people who are on the course and finding out if there's anything that they need for the next week. So highlighting what's happening in the next week and then seeing if there's any other areas they need, so we can make sure the course is really evolved for everyone that's on it, so that people get the best possible opportunity out of it. So yeah, as I said, you know, you don't know how this is a gift for the rest of your life. Freeing yourself from fear of failure, freeing yourself from the impact of self-doubt, being able to recognize them from for what they were, really could affect, you know, every area of your life. Like being able to face challenges, setbacks and fear confidently, being able to bounce back quickly, learn from experiences, keep going even after being knocked back. This is something that, you know, a lot of people, they start out, they've got this amazing idea, but one knockback, yeah, okay, two or three, starts getting a bit tough, and then they gradually just drift off onto something else. And it could have been that they were one stage or one step away from getting there and creating the thing that they wanted to happen. So I think that's a really key part of it. Being more in alignment, so like being able to be your authentic self, express yourself fully, worry less about what other people's judgment, what you should have, what you should do in your life, so that your creativity can come out, your shining, your talents, your ideas, in your personal life, and also in your career, if that's important to you, or even creating a business, doing something that's really aligned with you, which is absolutely beautiful. Of course, all of this, we talked about those 1% increments earlier. That's building self-esteem, building your self-worth, valuing your own contribution, having a ripple effect on others in your life, and even becoming like a role model to others. Like, could be to children in your life, but they're seeing this self-belief and confidence, and or your partner or friends, having that beautiful ripple effect. So these are all just, you know, just ways that it could help you in things like your personal relationships, like being more honest, being more authentic, communicating more effectively, having stronger boundaries, these kinds of things, so that relationships become more fulfilling and supportive ultimately. Money, big thing for a lot of us, so financial success, taking opportunities, calculated risks, and can lead to better financial well-being over time. So just really great opportunities there. And just, you know, feeling, just generally living an aligned, happy and fulfilled life. So so in summary, like, that is we just don't know how amazing the impact of living with freedom of fear of failure and self-doubt could be. And so I'd really love you to, if you are interested, join me in the beta program of Fearless Pursuits. Just comment yes if you want a link, or maybe you're on the email list, maybe you've got a link already. Before I go, has anyone got any questions that they want me to answer while I'm still here? Okay. Well, thank you so much for your attention. Lots of love. Bye for now.